Mike Tyson's story doesn't start with greatness. It starts with loss. It starts with fear. And it starts with a kid who grew up believing the world was against him. Before he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, before he terrified every fighter who stepped into the ring, Tyson had already lived a lifetime of pain. He was born in Brooklyn, surrounded by violence, poverty, and instability. By the age of 13, he had been arrested more than 30 times. He was angry, alone, and directionless. But everything changed when he was sent to a reform school and crossed paths with a man named Cus D'Amato. Cus didn't just teach Tyson how to box. He taught him how to think. He taught him discipline. He taught him confidence. And for the first time, someone told him that he could be something more than a troubled kid from Brownsville. He shaped Tyson into a weapon. He drilled into him the idea that fear could be controlled, that emotions could be used, and that discipline was stronger than talent. Tyson trained with almost obsessive dedication. He studied movement, he studied mindset, and he studied the science of pressure. And in just a few years, he transformed from a lost teenager into a force that the world had never seen. At 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. His speed, power, and aggression made him look untouchable. Every punch felt like destiny. Every victory felt inevitable. And it seemed like Tyson was born to rule the sport forever. But this is where his story takes a turn that separates him from almost every other athlete. Because Tyson's toughest opponent wasn't another fighter, it was himself. After Cus D'Amato died, the structure that had kept Tyson grounded disappeared. Fame, money, and endless attention surrounded him. But the discipline that once protected him began to fade. He took the wrong fights, he trusted the wrong people, and the world watched as the most feared man on earth began to unravel. The fall came fast. Legal trouble, controversy, chaos. He went from being the undisputed champion to a symbol of wasted potential. He spent years in prison, years fighting battles outside the ring, and years losing the fortune he once controlled. Tyson described this part of his life as living in a hurricane, unable to find a moment of calm, and for a while, it looked like his entire legacy would be defined by the mistakes he made. But this story isn't about what he lost. It's about what he rebuilt. Because unlike most athletes who fall from greatness, Tyson didn't disappear. He didn't run from accountability. He reinvented himself. In his 30s and 40s, he worked on his mental health. He learned humility. He became a storyteller, a businessman, and a mentor. And the world saw a side of him that didn't exist in his early career. He became thoughtful. He became self-aware, and he found a peace that boxing never gave him. Tyson said something powerful in an interview. He said, "My greatest fight was with myself," and that's what makes his story different. His legacy isn't just about knockouts, it's about transformation. It's about a man who rose, fell, and learned to rise again in a completely different way. Mike Tyson was built by discipline, destroyed by fame, and rebuilt by truth. And that's why his story remains one of the most complex and inspiring journeys in sports history. Want to keep being motivated to reach for your goals? Subscribe to see more content like this.